The purpose of this video is to review some best practices using the blueprint in Canvas. First, you need to understand some important terminology. The blueprint in Canvas, or the parent course it's sometimes called, is a course that allows the users to create content, learning objects, lock settings, or content items and push updates to associated courses through course syncing. An associated course, or sometimes a child course, is a course that are associated with a blueprint and populated with students. Object locking is a process by which content is locked so that it can only be updated through the blueprint. Let's look at an example of this in Canvas. This is a blueprint course. You can tell if a course is a blueprint course because it has this blue banner to the side. And you can see that there are two courses that are associated with the blueprint course. The two courses are in these tabs. This is the first one. This is the first child or associated course for Teacher A. And this is one for Teacher B. And you can see that the content has already been pushed out through the blueprint. When you're using the blueprint, some best practices to keep in mind are, number one, do not add dates to assignments on the blueprint. It would be better to add dates to the associated courses themselves, because at the end of the year, when the new year arrives, if you have the dates, they will be last year's dates that are on all the assignments in the blueprint. So we strongly encourage you to not add dates to assignments on the blueprint. Add them on the associated course instead. Common content should be locked on the blueprint. The blueprint sync will not overwrite changes that have been made on an associated course, but more importantly, locking common content prevents confusion because it forces you to only make changes in the blueprint. Let's look at what we're talking about there. So this is a blueprint course. We've got some common content here and things that are teacher specific here. If you notice, the common content is locked. It has a little lock icon next to it. If I go into the child course, you'll see the same lock icon, but you can't actually lock or unlock it in the child course because it's locked through the blueprint. If I try and make a change to the content in the child course, it says locked. If I try and edit it, it says locked content. It won't give me the ability to change the child course. I do have the ability to change due dates and things of that nature, but I can't actually change the content of the assignment. That's what locking does. It makes it so that you can't change the content of the assignment except for in the blueprint. And that's part of the reason that we strongly encourage you to lock common content so that you're only working through the blueprint and you don't get confused going back and forth between the courses and the blueprint. Other things is teacher-specific content should not be locked. In some cases, there may be teachers that decide that they want content that's specific to them. In this case, maybe this teacher wants to use a video project, this teacher wants to do a research report to show student understanding. So they want to use a different approach to show student understanding. And so they have teacher-specific assignments for that. In this case, because it's not locked in the blueprint, I can actually change that in the teacher course itself. So I'm going to go to Teacher A, and I'm going to add or make a change to this assignment. And I'm just going to, just for the sake of argument, type the letters A, B, C at the front of the assignment. And I'm going to save that change. In the blueprint, if I make a change to the same assignment, usually if it's locked, it will override the teacher assignment. But in this case, it won't. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the numbers 1, 2, 3. So the teacher assignment, the teacher course of the associated course had the letters A, B, C in the assignment. The blueprint has 1, 2, 3. If I sync the changes, what you're going to see is that it doesn't show that, it does not reflect that change. So it takes a while to sync sometimes. But hopefully we'll see that it reflects that change. So once again, in the blueprint it says 1, 2, 3. But in the child course it says ABC. It did not overwrite the change because it was not locked. And that's part of the reason that teacher-specific content really should not be locked, because you want to change it within the course. Finally, it is best to leave all content unpublished in the blueprint and only publish it in the associated courses as needed. So in our blueprint, all of the content is currently unpublished. But if I go into the associated course, I can publish that content as needed.